You slide into the cart at the course you've played for 10 years. The first hole is a straight 410-yard par 4. Your tee shot lands in the same patch of fairway it always does. Your approach comes up short again. You check the distance on your rangefinder and it says you have 140 yards left, but your 7-iron only carried 125. So you grab your 6, swing hard, and still come up 10 yards short of the green. You've been losing distance for years and you think it's age. The truth is worse than that. Your irons are lying to you. A modern game improvement 7-iron has 28 degrees of loft. 20 years ago, a standard 7-iron was 34 degrees. That 6-degree difference is the same as holding a 1-iron stronger than the club you think you're using. For a senior golfer, swinging at 65 miles per hour, that flat face launches the ball at 16 degrees with heavy spin. The ball peaks at 80 feet, then drops like a rock. A proper launch for that speed is 22 degrees with a peak over 100 feet. That extra launch angle alone converts a 113-yard carry into 130 yards. The club you bought to gain distance is actually stealing nearly 20 yards per iron. And now you know exactly where those 20 yards went. If you want to see the next hidden variable that's draining your game, the shaft that's actually robbing you, subscribe so you get that breakdown in your feed. In the comments, check your 7-iron loft and tell us what it is. If it's below 30 degrees, write loft creep, because that's what's happening to your bag. If that sounds like an exaggeration, look at the history of club design. A mashie from the 1890s, which is today's 5-iron, had 42 degrees of loft. The 5-iron you're holding right now might be 24 degrees. That's nearly a 20-degree change in one club in 130 years. The ball hasn't changed that much. Your swing hasn't changed that much. What changed is that manufacturers started strengthening lofts to make the numbers look bigger on a launch monitor in a retail bay. The distance you see on the screen in the store is real at 100-mile-an-hour swing speed. At your speed, it disappears. But the problem isn't just the absolute loft number. Modern iron heads are designed with a low center of gravity and a long shaft to maximize ball speed for a fast swing. When you drop to 65 miles per hour, that same head becomes a spin machine. You feel the ball rocket off the face, you watch it climb, then it stalls, then it dives. You think you need more club head speed. The answer is a different launch profile. A properly fit club for your speed would have 36 degrees on your 7-iron, not 28, and the ball would carry 135 yards with a soft descent that holds the green. Here's the self-recognition moment you may already feel. If you have walked into a pro shop, hit a few 6-irons on the simulator, seen the number 150 on the screen, and felt that quiet thrill of believing you just gained 10 yards, you know the moment I am describing. That simulator was fed your data from a 7-iron that was actually lofted like a 5-iron. You didn't gain distance. The club lied to the machine for you, and you bought the lie. Now, you are on the course hitting the same number you always hit, but with a stronger club that launches lower and stops shorter. For a legitimate test, take your current 7-iron and put it next to a 7-iron from 2003. Lay them sole to sole. The difference is visible to the naked eye. The new club has a face that looks like it belongs on a 3-iron. That visual is not aesthetic. It is the engineering signature of a trap designed to sell you distance you will never see at your swing speed. The Golf Digest equipment test of 2022 measured 44 senior men hitting their own 7-iron versus a retrospec 7-iron of 34 degrees. The average carry increase with the retro club was 17.3 yards. None of them swung harder. They just launched the ball at the right angle for their speed, 17.3 yards without swinging any harder. That's not an improvement, that's a recovery. This channel exists to show you the recoveries the industry doesn't want you to find. Subscribe to keep uncovering these controlled revelations. Then, in the comments, tell us, have you ever compared your current clubs to a vintage set? Type retrospec if you're willing to try that test. The golf industry built this system deliberately. They call the process loft creep, and it has been accelerating since the early 2000s. Every new generation of irons gets a half degree stronger, and the marketing promises another 3 yards. The cycle works because no one checks. You walk into the store, hit the new club, see a bigger number than your current club, and buy. You never ask what loft that club really is because the industry standardized the number on the sole, not the angle of the face. Your 7-iron today is stronger than your grandfather's 6-iron. Your 6 is stronger than his 5. The whole numbering system has shifted under your feet without you noticing. Now, consider the lie angle. As you age, your posture tends to change. You stand a little closer to the ball, your spine angle gets more upright, and your toe starts digging into the turf. Modern irons are built with a relatively flat lie angle for the faster swing that delivers the head square at impact. For a slower swing with a more upright plane, the heel of the club catches the ground first, the face opens, and your ball leaks right. Every weak slice you blame on your tempo was actually a lie angle mismatch that started the moment you bought those irons. A simple lie angle adjustment by 2 degrees upright would cost you $10 per club and straighten your ball flight by 15 yards. You might ask why the industry doesn't just sell a senior-specific line with proper lofts. They do, but the top-selling models at every major brand still carry the standard 28-degree 7-iron. The Senior Flex shaft is a softer stick that reduces spin even further, which worsens the launch problem. You get a lighter shaft that bends more at impact, the face closes, the ball launches even lower, and you lose another 5 yards. The senior option is not solving the problem, it is compounding the mistake. If you have ever stood over a 140-yard approach, pulled your 6-iron because the 7 comes up short, then flushed it and still watched the ball land short and left, you already know the system is broken. You just never had the numbers to prove it. The evidence sits in the Loft specifications posted on the brand's own website. Go to any major manufacturer's page, look up the 7-iron Loft of their current best-selling Game Improvement iron, then look up the same model from 2005. The difference is 6 to 8 degrees. You are not losing distance. You are playing the wrong club for your swing. The fix starts with a single number. Go to your bag right now, pull your 7-iron, and measure the loft with a simple angle gauge from any hardware store. If it reads 28 degrees or lower, that club is built for a swing speed that left you 2 decades ago. A club fitter who understands launch dynamics will bend that head to 34 or 36 degrees. Adjust the lie angle 2 degrees upright and extend the shaft by a 1/4 inch to compensate for the natural loss of spinal rotation. The total cost is around $40 per club. The gain in carry distance is 15 to 20 yards per iron. Here is the self-recognition beat that seals the entire system. If you have ever been standing on the practice green, looking at the bag you bought 3 years ago, and felt a quiet suspicion that the distance you paid for never actually showed up on the course, you are not imagining it. You were feeling the gap between marketing physics and real-world launch conditions. The golf industry engineered that gap, and they charged you a premium for it. The clubs you need already exist. They look almost identical to the ones you already own, except the sole of the 7-iron is visibly deeper. The Loft sticker says 36 degrees, and the shaft is a 1/2 inch longer. That club, at your swing speed, launches the ball at 21 degrees, peaks at 110 feet, and carries 135 yards with a 2-yard fade. It stops on the green. It gives you the one thing no launch monitor in a retail bay ever could, which is the actual distance your body can produce when the equipment matches your mechanics. The solution is not a new driver. It is not a membership change. It is a 30-minute conversation with a club fitter who measures lofts, not promises. The moment you hit a 6-iron that launches the same height as your old 5-iron, you will feel the difference in your hands before you see the ball land. The sound is different. The flight is different. And for the first time in years, the number on your rangefinder will match the club in your hand. You might wonder why no one at the big box store ever warned you. The answer is that the sales commission is tied to the sticker price, not the fitting outcome. A set of irons with proper senior lofts costs the same as the standard set, but the standard set sells faster because the launch monitor numbers look bigger. The store has no incentive to show you the club that launches higher and carries less on the screen. The screen is the salesman, not your scorecard. The one person who can break the cycle is the independent fitter who charges by the hour, not by the sale. That fitter will hand you a 7-iron with 36 degrees of loft and watch your face change when the ball stays in the air long enough to cover 140 yards. They will bend the lie angle until the divot is square, not heel deep. They will charge you $150 for the session and $40 per club for the adjustments, and you will walk out hitting every iron 1 club longer than you walked in. That feeling, when the ball stays in the air long enough to cover the flag, that's what we're after. If you're not already subscribed, this is the moment. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the shaft breakdown that follows. And in the comments, write independent fitter if you know where to find one in your area. We're building a community resource for real fitting. The last piece of the puzzle is the shaft. Most senior golfers are sold a graphite shaft marked a flex or senior flex, which is actually a lighter version of a regular shaft that bends more at impact. More bend means the face closes earlier, the launch angle drops, and you lose height. The correct shaft for a 65 mph swing is often a softer tip section in a regular flex, not a dedicated senior flex at all. You want a shaft that loads at the top of your backswing and unloads just before impact, not one that whips open and closed like a wet noodle. This entire system of stolen distance can be undone in a single afternoon. You walk in with a bag of clubs that cost you $1,200 and hit them 20 yards short. You walk out with the same clubs, bent to the correct lofts with the correct lie angles, and a shaft that matches your tempo, and you gain 17 yards per iron. The irons themselves never changed. The numbers on the sole changed. That is the only difference between feeling old and feeling like you never lost a step. The quiet truth is that golf manufacturers have known about this mismatch for decades. The first documented case of loft creep in a major brand appears in the 1980s, when a popular game improvement iron introduced the 3-iron with 21 degrees of loft, a club that matched the 2-iron from a decade earlier. The industry saw the sales data and never looked back. Every senior golfer who felt their game slipping was not slipping at all. The irons were climbing the scale 1 degree at a time, year after year, while you were told to swing faster. So if you've ever felt that quiet frustration of thinking your game is fading, you now have the proof that it wasn't you. If this resonates with you, there's a lot more where this came from. Link in the description. Type that exact phrase in the comments if you're ready to stop blaming yourself and start fixing your clubs. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now is the time, because the next video will show you exactly which shaft spec frees those extra yards. If you have ever stood over a shot and whispered to yourself that you just cannot hit it as far as you used to, you have been carrying a weight that was never yours. The distance is still there. It is hiding in a set of lofts that match your swing, not the launch monitor's marketing script. The fix costs less than a single round at a resort course. And the first time you pull your 7-iron from 140 yards and watch the ball fly past the pin, you will know exactly what you were missing.